he came to our office and he was thanking us.
Wow, the
so
brain is really powerful.
It's psychological.
Wow.
It's psychological. Just like, let's say somebody will just tell you, I saw your husband with a lady somewhere. You haven't seen the person. But immediately you have started, yes, you have started rehearsing what you are preparing to do. You know, these are some of the problems. It's psychological. And when your situation get to that level, you may end up destroying yourself.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what type of grieving would you say someone who has lost, like this Nigerian actress who also passed? She lost almost all her family members, brothers, sisters, the mom, like in a span of 3 or 5 years. Then the only daughter that she had, I think she had her daughter very early in age. So the daughter, I think, was in university or something, also got sick, and then she also passed not so long ago. So she was depressed. It was all over the news. I've forgotten her name. She was depressed, and her best friend was the one trying to take care of her and all that. She also just passed recently.
Such a person can easily commit suicide.
Wow.
Yes. Such a person
but she didn't commit suicide. Yes. But I think the sorrow and everything was too much for her to bear.
Yes. Such a person can easily commit suicide if she doesn't get a clinical psychologist or somebody who can help her to overcome those kind of grief. Because when someone is going through grieving, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Sometimes they commit suicide. A lot of them commit suicide by killing themselves. Yeah, a lot of them commit suicide. So such a person like this, they have to get loved ones.
Yes.
Those who are very close to her, yes, talking to her, for her
colleagues were trying.
For her to accept the reality, to take years.
Yeah.
It will take years, because some of the losing your loved ones and even your own child is not an easy thing. The only daughter. It's not an easy thing. So such a person like this, it's not easy for a clinical psychologist to help the person. But it will take a very long time for the person to overcome those kind of challenges.
And on top of it, someone, I think a company was sending her to court because she couldn't, meet. I think she was supposed to, yes, she was supposed to appear or do something for a certain
too much.
Exactly. She wasn't well. So she even did a live video saying that they are taking her to court, she'll be fine, and so people don't understand mental whatever. She came live and did that video, and now she's dead. Sasa.
Yes, these people, they normally go through severe migraine. Yeah, it can lead to very severe migraine and hormonal disorders. It affects your hormones.
Yeah.
When you get hormonal disorders, which means you are heading towards mental problem.
Wow.
Yes. So then she has really gone through
She's gone through a lot. So can we also come to the emotional side? Is it the same as grieving? Like you've lost someone and emotionally you are sad, you are down.
When you talk about emotions, emotion covers everything.
Okay.
Sadness, happy, grieving, all of them are parts. But when we have the positive ones and then the negative ones. But the positive one, let's say you meet a love day, you're happy the way you are happy, those kind of things. And with the negative one, that's where we talk about the sadness of the person. Sometimes the person feels develop an inner fear, maybe fear of approaching somebody or maybe going for interview. These are some of the emotions that they normally go to. So with the emotions, we have the positive ones and then we have the negative ones, depending on the individual, how you accept the situation. Yes.
So how can we, should I say, what advice would you give someone who has lost a loved one? How can they manage their emotions, their grief, so they don't end up being depressed or feeling like I don't deserve to be alive anymore, I think I should end it? How do people have issues of grief?
Well, I remember my mom told me some years back that when you hear a friend who is going through this kind of problem, let's say the person has lost his husband. I know in the Akan session they also bring someone who has lost his husband to stay with the lady, so that they will know that, oh, I have gone through it, so I know what you are going through. So whatever I will say, at least you will pick something from it. I remember some years back when I lost my younger sister. Sincerely speaking, it wasn't easy for me because I was so close to her, and she was at the university by then.
Wow.
And I was so close, and when we go to we normally visit her at General Hospital, she would just be looking at me and then smile back, and I will look at me, smile, and I will smile back to her. And I felt something bad was about to happen. So within some few hours, one of the nurses called me and told me the sad news. It wasn't easy for me to overcome it. Sincerely speaking, it wasn't easy. And before she would die, she told us that her time is due. Yes.
So it's true that people know when they're about to die.
Yes.
I hear that a lot, but I feel like
she told us that her time is due. So she shared all her things.
Wow.
She gave me some. She gave my elder sister some. And my elder sister was even saying that you are not the one to give me anything. I'm supposed to give you something.
How?
But we didn't know. At that time, I haven't read those kind of things. I wasn't in the psychiatry unit, so I didn't know much about these things. And after she died, I was having a friend whose relative died. 5 siblings died, and the mother, 5 siblings and the mother died at a go. Yes. Alone. I didn't know.
Wow.
So I was in the house. Sincerely speaking, I wasn't able to overcome it. So when he came to my house, he was talking, and then he started narrating his story. Within the shortest period, I stopped crying. Yes, 5. Wow. I have lost 1. At least I have 2 there. But I have lost 1. And I wasn't able to overcome all those things. And after he narrated everything, he told me, Eugenia, oko cemetery wa, my brother ni, my sister ni, my brother ni, my brother ni, my mommy ni. And I realized, no, I have to overcome all those. So I try to accept the reality that my sister is no more. So it's not easy. So it depends on the family members. Sometimes when the family members are not able to overcome it, the clinical is to counsel the person, go through that kind of stages. Psychologically, the person will be well. Sometimes they are not able to sleep. So they give them medications that will help them sleep.
So your advice would be that when you find yourself in that situation, at least find
the family members should come in. They should develop that kind of emotional attachment. Let the person accept that, look, we understand what you are going through, and we are ready to accept you. We are ready to help you to overcome all those challenges. So if the family members are there, I would say the family members should be the main key to help them, to help that person to overcome those kind of challenges. So I think when the family members counsel, advise them, and still the person is not able to accept it, that's where you move to the next level, the clinical psychologist to come in and help the person.
But you know, some of our family members, yebe to your school fees, no, yebe say,
oh yeah,
it is just you.
Yes.
No one even remembers, say, or befre, bisa say, now what is saying, how is life? How are you coping? Well, it's like it's full of promises when the thing happens, and after the burial, everything is, and those who even try to be there, it's like they are rushing you to go through the emotions. They are like, now how long do you want to stay like this? Who said this? Oh, okay. Why? Just you are a man. Just you don't know.
We forget that we are different. We are individual.
We all take things differently.
Take things differently. This is where the friends will also come in. Sometimes the friends can also do much more than the relatives. So when the friends come in, they will help the person. In your church can also help
like
the person.
Keeping yourself busy.
When my sister died, my mother wasn't able to overcome all those kind of things because she has gone through psychological problem already.
Wow.
And after that, the death of my late sister too. So it wasn't easy for her. And we tried to force her to, like at that time, she was in this women fellowship. So we were pushing her to involve herself. They gave her role, and after they giving her role, we realized she started psychologically coming back to her normal state. So sometimes involving yourself, sometimes you have to relocate. Maybe stay with some of your friends for some time to overcome those kind of challenges. Go out, enjoy yourself. Sometimes all these things normally come in. It's part of life. So if you don't accept that, it's part of able to overcome it.
Yeah. Also, I want to ask, nowadays these churches say we young now ukonyinseng and I say worry now wakonyinseng na yeduwa bejina sorry egu enima ase na afinie semu ina munim no wokwa ni mu wakoye nkolabo ne nsem ama wanyinseng ti free na ekono mu hunu wokwa ni mu biom sese oba obeti na echire ho no echire ho ombeka ye hu biom sa niema we nyina. Do you think say and also eka ho ema nkrofo through some of these emotions?
Oh yes, me koye look mo baby. And the pakono bo sorry and obase obe EOU in the medical terms, evacuation of the uterus.
Abortion. Okay.
Ina me ne bon komo san na bisa say akola no ni say the whole nation na wo say because akola no na obewo no wasanso awo generation no be kate
o kate
okache me say sister say me year ma sorry o mbegu me ni mu ase because me person ni ngwase we be ntina me person me ina bisa say I asked her say you knew all these things, so why say
yes MIC
or say ejuma entina ni eba na sa. So sometimes if you don't find out the reason behind what the reason behind the person doing those kind of things, you may destroy the person because psychologically the person sitting at the back sometimes it is quite torturing because it becomes a topic in the church. This is what the person is going through. This is what the person is pregnant will be expecting. So if the pregnancy maybe we have threatening abortion, but they will conclude it. So that's why most of them immediately they get pregnant, they leave the church. Because they don't want to be disgraced. Because psychologically you go through a lot of problems. So all these things, I quite remember I told one of the pastors, he is one of the churches, psychologically you may think obi oye ni dey secret. In obi oye ni dey open. Yes. So sometimes the person may go through psychological problem. You may think it's normal. Oh yes, it's a punishment. Nobody is holy before God.
Exactly.
Like we don't have the right to judge anybody. Allow the person to give birth. What about if the person gives birth and later on only fear sorry anymore? What are you going to talk about? So all these things psychologically it affects the person. And sometimes too, if you are not careful, you cry not join to me and develop it. When develop it, sana say omu akola no mu yi ni sana. Akola na when develop it affects the brain because whatever the person goes through during pregnancy, it affects the child. So all these things, I will not tell them they should continue, they should stop it. Because we are human and we are bound to make mistakes.
Exactly. Now, so for no mo yes akra kohwe ne cupboard mu niema oye di sie kra enye bi.
That's why you shouldn't be judgmental.
the thing it has already happened. And also I want to ask about this. Who environment be a uye juma, baby a uye juma, or boss harass you sexually. And because na say juma mayedi, musu say mampinia or be pami juma. And then you end up agreeing and it continues. It never ends. Because the day ubenya ya wadrin say dey with I'm tired. And because of the fear of losing your job, you end up always, you know, and this is sexual harassment. Yes. But you can't go out there and talk about it. And you are going through it. How can this affect someone?
If someone who is being sexually harassed, psychologically affecting area, because the boss has been using her. Why I know me who the word that she used to describe the person. Just say or accessible. See, anytime you're PBR, use and the person will be still accepting it because of the way. Me, I will say that if you have a boss who behaves in that way, I will tell you politely. If you want me to quit my job, I will leave. Yeah. Maybe through that, God will open another door for me. I will not allow you to harass me sexually. Because of your dignity. Yeah. You have to value yourself. Yeah. If you are a woman and you don't value yourself, people will take advantage. One thing I know about some of the guys, the way you handle yourself, that's why they give you the respect. Who handle anyhow, they will just one guy see Oshia a lady, and they were just discussing, and I'll say, oh, Oshia no club for very long they have been dating. Now the other guy say, oh, sister crapo fee USA bow. Okay. Now or person worry. Now that one can say, what or call PG say, what about the lady now on the local club? What say this one is not it's on your marriage material. Club woman. I say, okay, PG says, so worry a club lady. They just say, oh sorry, I'm a club. Then the years of club. Then I'm balance so on. I'm here. It's on pesa idea. So if you are a woman and you, oh my dream, I'll be my dream. And say who say who if you don't value yourself and you allow the man to use you anyhow. Then which means you continue to be used. It's kind of psychological problem. I will advise you to quit your job. God will open a way for you.
And sometimes I don't blame some of the girls who go through that and end up agreeing. You know, obi oha ono no ye breadwinner.
Exactly.
Or you're very young, maybe 20 years, but ono eno oko eba ni mami kura enye bidi ema ni nuanom enye bidi obi oho okwiti ni school just to find something doing na dey train bank school inti no obi sa no and na opportunity na eba ye na adwuma na onya ye so it's a good place and aketua ne ye inti no odwin ho a say adwuma we mi jaya meye dey enye adwuma bi e ti say biom. So the fear of the unknown is so that will let the person let me just
do you know they obia woni penny bia my manager no yes my director is not around
the main cause of the just say juma ankasa.
No, you have to sit him down and tell him your problem because the main boss of wife for a year
that's what
that's why they call them spare tires.
It is side chick, yes. But is a person side chick. But the fact because the fact you are connected to him, maybe you can program and on the no see or company behume member with Juma, and that's where it starts. Oh, you know, this is very easy. I can, you know, maybe meet me at your front desk, or I can, you know, say, but I'll have to sleep with you before I get you the job. This is the owner of the job. And this is a big opportunity for you. You get it. Inti obi dream sa okay. Na wapene na nipa ne nada no wa na ejuma no. So enye say or open a side chicken po just because of ejuma. Me, I've gone through something like that before. As in my foundation na me pay sponsorship for Mr. and Miss or space no. At the Ayemi event no. The manager no like he was going to go so through that
enough.
Yeah. I say oh me na chale minya wa na. So it was going through that. And this is something I maybe I will promote the place for you. So it's not like company film. I was also going to advertise because we will be going on interviews. I'll mention the place as Mona. But you see, he was going through that channel. And then because I didn't want to do that, of course there are other hotels, there are other places I can go and try my luck, you see. So I just cut it off from there. But you see, I would do that, but someone won't have the balls to do that.
And then you ask yourself, for how long will you allow your boss to harass you? These are the questions you have to ask yourself. For how long? Because don't forget that nipa krona or harass you, no. Who knows? Maybe that person may that person may be your destiny helper, and I say somebody who may be your husband in future. But this is the case, the person has already harassed you. Me, when I was in Committee 3, there was one lady Bia, Omutunidi. Dino Mutu and like Kakan no Jai, those kind of Bema Semeni at the end. Or be a Christian or sorry, those kind of things. No, there was one guy Bia of Italy, Bass or Baba Wareno. No knowing the guy no Baba Wareno, not down for 4 years and nada.
Chineke may God.
Have you seen na down funny here and nada? Iti omo guy in the castle. They want say this bachelor's night, sprinters night, those kind of or no modi hu ye. Because now on him say this is the lady omo or abe ware no. Until when the lady came in or introduced, oh, this is my woman, a week time we'll be getting married. Some man a glass away, but one guy okay. Also, with this one, I've done this. No way, but could be an open and
but I think if you live a promiscuous life, obi be worry you have to. I was so concerned say and also boa.
Sometimes you have to keep certain things for yourself.
No keep here. Nipa be hu a problem cause when you know say niema na wo ye dear e possible say betimi aba out. Then let me tell the person myself.
Someone who truly loves you, don't think about your past.
So even if you didn't tell the person, later I'll find out. Don't you think Obeka say, hey, so why didn't you tell me about all these things?
So all these things, I mean, it tell me I said relationship. Oh, it's what me. Oh yeah, when we na we man a glass, It's so so all the 5 guys started talking. So they were 6.
Wow.
All the 5 guys, one guy came in, the 5 guys left. They said, oh, this one day, what happened? A guy who said no. Even the woman I'm about to marry, my own friends, they have taken advantage of her. So a week to the wedding, Saturday, Friday, na guy a fly called back.
Jesus.
So this is where the psychological trauma comes in.
Yeah.
What lady in the side. In say trainer lady in be who say oh, not knowing guy na down for na go through this kind of problem or relocate it to Eastern region.
Yeah.
So now you have to relocate. Go to a different place that they don't even know you or have not heard anything about your past. By all means, you may get maybe one. But how is the person going to talk in such a way say Mombe Kano is true?
Yeah.
Yes. And see all these things, when you don't value yourself much, maybe you may think you are doing it.
Yeah.
Sometimes these things happen for God to help you to open another door. So our advice upon talking to your manager or the owner of the company and still doing it, which means the person intentionally doing it, you have to quit.
Hey,
that's where you value yourself.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not easy because me personally, I know some few people, you know, sometimes with you would think say nipa ni say but who name options are nipa no ewa ochusi ni ochusi ye no.
This thing be I don't know whether it was true, but it was a rumor. Nipa obana wine no company, different company, well known. But the father didn't allow. Then you ask why?
Why?
because now or the big men
the girl.
Yes, so the father didn't allow. Say, yeah, the person is my manager or my CEO, so I have to take advantage of the person. Maybe I will allow the person to take advantage or sleep with the person. But when it comes to reality, say to the extent of marrying the person, they will not accept it. Because if you are able to open up, sleep with somebody, what's the possibility, say, if you are a warrior, you will not do the same thing?
Well, like you said, everyone has a past.
Exactly.
And that might be in the person's past.
Yes.
Until Sabi. You know, say, Obama no done that much, na and funny who and share that problem, man.
Yes.
Because people marry prostitutes.
Oh, yes.
Don't they? They
yes.
do.
They do.
What about that? I don't put the name age. So why is it say be money in drink say nipe or a positive right now? Likely say exactly. So
we do change.
Well, anyways.
But in the case where you know that your boss has been harassing you anytime that he wants, you just come and take advantage intentionally. Because or taking you for granted because he has been paying you until one rate be you have to sacrifice. No, you don't have to sacrifice your life to that extent. What about if the boss is infected with deadly disease?
As for the disease,
you
see, I call on most side there.
So all these things you have to think about yourself. Your happiness is also more important.
That's true. And lastly, before we leave today, your friend is saying, parents knew mother. Because recently there was this story one of the TV stations. So woman no with the 18 years eda. And ne other sister not titi wo area say ne mama ni nua da. But ono ankasa mfa ne ni hu ye. Until there was a day obefie no omu say na ne mama etwetwe ne brother no. Sometimes almost share them who say they are having sex near there. And girl say on put share down say ne mama ono no open on ni nua no yes I say sometimes ne mama e baby no say onim de ni nua boy no ehwehwe free ni ho so the girl bisa no say e dey na woni no yeah sisi a wo see unim de ohwehwe ne woni na start no and there make sure say woni ne be end unim say one ne ba boy no plan ye Esther be girl no ono ane ba no yes I'm telling you this is true story which was covered true story and yes say movie they stabbed the girl because girl ne say omo feel say ma omo kwan ma omo nye ni omo pese omo be because nowadays not tight na dem ho office school ba otina dem ho before na ya otina bontin nti ase wadane hindrance ama ne maame ni nwia no na ne nwia no kra timi bu ne maame. Shocked. I was surprised. Oba wa ba wankasa wo ba be ma woni ne da na because oba ba ewo fie amunya ho nya ne mu ye no they stabbed the girl man intestines epie ye girl no nyame na agi sa girl no wo enwu sa de ne de enya de obewu like ahomachi na so bibi said mommy
nipa oti say no
your time aso
trust becomes very difficult. On to me trust any of family close family members. So nipa say no all this straightly only the clinical psychologist.
Exactly.
Because we also have fathers sleeping with their daughters.
Exactly.
Which is going on. It's nipa say no a bad bearman also will not go through things easy for him because it will be difficult for bearman to get into a to the sugar mummies, those kind of things because why are you used to
yes
obia obetumi awon so such a guy like this you know it will be very difficult for the guy to get into a relationship with the age mate obeko sugar mummy
same way there this discussion I was say a per day near san toaso I was say a per day at toaso because your time aso ye bepe another day na ya to asa nkomo yiso because very necessary niema ekoso ewo ye fie mu like a lot of things are happening won't see ya wodwin say no ha ene di OPD section ebc ye ne nurse Eugenia senior nurse owo man here polyclinic ene edidi nkomo and there we spoke about grief and emotions nyame ya aduma ye beto aso na ye da wasese de bia wo choose yen muma ye ntwa ye ho sima kakra ye koba na ye de aka no asoso amamu.
I see your face. Ooh, oh my days.
Ni technical staff no wo mo afro mo na players a Ghana ni bia wogidi wo mu se won betumi ayade. These are players who are playing week in week out, you know, in Europe, and they are not just playing any ordinary teams. When you have a player like Thomas Partey playing for Arsenal in the English Premiership,
and you
have Lamptey playing for Brighton, who are doing very well. Yeah. You have John Pinto playing for Leicester City. You have Salisu.
You're talking about Amate?
Yes, Amate.
Okay.
Yes, Amate. And you also have Salisu playing for Southampton. And so it tells you, say, it is time, say, Ghana for being a GD our team, because I mean these are players who have seen it all. And Kudus, I mean, Kudus is now on cloud 9. I mean, in Europe, I mean, he's the wonder kid now in Europe. And I think, say, we all saw the goal he scored against Liverpool in the Champions League.
The first visit to Anfield wasn't within a short time he was injured. So
yes.
This time he wanted to prove something.
Prove a point, and he did it in a grand style.
But do we have a team or we have players?
Oh, you know, when Otto Addo and his men took over, they were tasked to build a team.
Okay.
And so quickly they put up a team and faced Nigeria. That team is there. The core of the team are still in place. Additions keke and Odiabekam. And for a team, a friendly match like this, it is just a preparation.
Is it not too big for us?
I don't think so.
Hey, I'm slow.
Dabi. I mean, these boys have seen it all.
But
they played against all the big players in Europe. I mean, Inaki plays in the La Liga. He has played against Vinicius. He has played against all the big players. Are you getting my point? You have Salisu, who have played against all the top strikers in the English Premiership. And which player?
Also, I'm happy with his form this season because getting to the end of last season, no, getting to the end of last season, he was committing so many mistakes.
I don't think, sir, or say you should wait to mistakes. Very good. I mean, player you used to know regularly.
No, what I'm saying is getting to the end of last season.
And I'm saying,
but this season, I say I'm happy with his form.
Very good. But last season, this is a player who plays week in, week out. And you know, sometimes getting to the latter stage of the league, fatigue will definitely set in. And
Jiku has been exceptional for the team.
Very well. I mean, very regular player, one of the top defenders.
I thought he would move away from Spain.
Actually, Nanka Sevilla was actually pursuing him, but somewhere along the line, the deal fell through. It didn't go through. Otherwise, it would have been in.
But Gideon, why did he peak at this stage? The professor in defense.
Yes, I mean, fantastic. For a very long time, in the days of Asari, Isaac Asari, they wore a very good, you know, culture. Defense, the left side of defense. For a very long time, the Black Stars have been struggling to get a player to fill that, you know, position. Now with the revelation of Gideon Mensah, that place is sealed, and he's handling that position fantastically.
I think
and I hope so.
It's the midfield that I have it. Okay, so now for the defense, in goal, Jojo Walcott has no contender.
No, I mean Richard Forrest is back. Yes, Richard Ofori is back in the
other one that we went to Japan with, the one who saved the penalties. It was such a good goal play.
Yes, Manaf.
Yes, Manaf is also. Even in this defense, so we have central defenders in Jiku, Amate, Salisu has joined. There's some Joseph Edu, very brilliant.
Yeah, Joseph Edu, Celta Vigo. Very brilliant defender. He also doesn't get it well when it comes to the Black Stars.
My problem
the few occasions that he has been given opportunity.
Who pairs Partey in midfield?
Baba Idrisu is there. Baba Idrisu, hard tackler, good runner. He doesn't get tired throughout the 90 minutes. Very good passer.
I want an Annan in the team, or the Tiger. Somebody like Annan.
Currently, we don't have a player cast in the mode of Michael Essien. But then these are individual brilliant midfielders.
I hope
Thomas Partey will be the general man.
I hope they work as a unit, and I'm praying Partey doesn't get injured.
Obviously, that will be the prayer for every Ghanaian, because if Partey get injured and out of the team, it will be a disaster for us.
Our forward has been sharpened, but not as sharpened as I wanted. Previously, Dede and Brother have been our forward players. Kamal Dean, Suleiman, brilliant player. Joseph Bintu wasn't called this time around. Addition of Nico. Who else?
For the strikers, we have, like you mentioned, we have Antoine Semenyo. Antoine Semenyo, very good.
Brilliant player.
Brilliant player by all standards. Yes. And then this Brunibia Yenyan and CCR, Ransford, Yeboah, Collins Door. Fantastic player. The coach, and don't let us forget, there is Banye Afriye, the Accra Suffolk striker. Brilliant striker. So coach, you bet when you GDA, our boy nimu,
a bad boy.
Now of Fildena, Ghanaians will be surprised what he can do against the Brazilian team. Or a player with so much confidence. I mean, on the local scene now, undoubtedly, he is the best player on the local scene. And anytime
if he won't be cowed by stage fright.
Wow, that is what. But I think that is why the national team now. These are people who work on the players.
Probably who see Neymar.
I don't think so. I mean, this boy has played international matches.
Oh, but not as big as this one.
Not as, yes. So
to play Brazil. Brazil, so you want record on your papa.
Onye.
1.82 da, 1.30 da. The one fine chain. It's only on the under 20 in the year to match. Even that one was on penalties, right?
It's true.
Number 5 months on the you're brave. Even outside, no more time.
It's true. It's
we
true.
Struggle.
I mean, playing Brazil any day is a difficult game by all standards.
And I was thinking we should play Nicaragua before Brazil, but anyway, it's turned out.
Fine.
What's demoralizing?
I don't think so. These are professional players who are aware that the friendly matches are just preparatory, matches ahead of the World Cup. And so Brazil beating us will not in any way dampen their spirit. They will only go back, and
when Brazil beat us, it won't be.
It will be positive for the Black Stars. Positive
for the
Black Stars. I am hoping, sir, will do a draw. Winning against Brazil will be an over ambitious, optimism, if I should put it, over ambitious optimism. But we can manage a draw. I'm very hopeful that Brazil cannot, destroy us.
I have a problem with our attackers. They now about 4 or 5 games. Here goes Ayasha negligible.
Very good, and that is why the coach has brought in Inaki. We all know Inaki and his performance in the La Liga for Atletico Bilbao.
Barcelona for no team.
No, he's been scoring. I mean,
Barcelona no team.
Last weekend he scored 2 goals. He had a brace. He had a brace. Yes. He had a brace. So he's a very good addition to the Black Stars, and that is what is giving him the confidence.
With balls. I'm thinking about wingers.
No, I mean Partey.
And Kudus has been brilliant.
Partey can, square, the passes.
Put your hope in Partey.
Very good. I mean, why? Partey has been.
He's the mainstay of Arsenal anyway.
Fantastic. When Arsenal is playing and Partey is not in the squad, you all see the deficiency
it brings
in the
stability
squad.
To the team.
Yes, but when he comes, you see that Arsenal team just a flow.
But my problem with the Black Star is normally we like to push him to the forward, and that exposes our back line. Because in Ghana, because we don't have strikers, we normally love to push him to the front. Against Nigeria, he had to come in and score that goal.
Against Nigeria,
yes,
he was being pushed because the coach was aware. Say your goal scoring ability, our form, especially if we have Jordan spearheading the attack. And he,
people are not to
Oma Partey Ekodjani attack, he played just behind was playing in front of the
Is he now very fit?
Very fit. Baba Idisu is very fit. Very fit.
But let's talk about the importance of Jordan Ayew to the team.
Jordan Ayew is one of the oldest players in the team. the most experienced. Uyi ni brother, Didi Ayu Ifriwa. The next longest 7 Black Star player now in the squad is Jordan Ayu. And so he has gained experience over the years. That experience is what the Black Stars will rely on.
But on the field of play, now since you're ball juggler,
I think, sir, Coach Otoado is a very good coach. What I say, Jordan, the out and out.
Every coach knows. Every coach knows. Even Crystal Palace, they can rely.
Very good. So he is given that liberal role. He plays a bit.
Can't we give that role to Kudus to be the ball holding?
Yes, of course. Kudus is the scheme of the team.
So what's your idea of the front three?
I'm expecting Inaki to spearhead the attack. Jordan will be on the left, and then Kudus will be on the right.
Probably on Monday when we meet, we will talk about. We don't have time. I would have loved us to talk about the clash between Kumasi Asante Kotoko and then Accra, so forth. But my producers is signaling me that time. So, what's your prediction for Hearts Kotoko?
A draw, possibly. A draw. Because Kotoko lose no mulusuma kadiogo no ama team spirit about from. Yes, ama team spirit. But supporters know Enyanje and they bashed the team very well. Even they threatened say Wamunko Stadium. They threatened. Management can take a gate fee so we hope say and fill the stadium on Sunday and give Kotoko that we want that atmosphere. It is the super clash of the Ghana Premiership. It is a stadium and Shada Nyama. Nature say you live if the super clash cannot have a full house, then it speaks badly about the Ghana Premier League.
The Ghanaian version of El Clasico.
El Clasico, yeah. We call it the super.
I support only one team in Ghana.
We call it the super clash here in Ghana.
I support only one team in Ghana. Abontua. Cape Coast Mysterious Ebusuan Drafts. The only team in Ghana. The rest are.
Where sure? Mubana Muko.
I said the only team.
Oh, okay.
Yes, for Excels of you are. Excels of Wegu. We started in Cape. We'll come to Accra. So we can who comes next.
Okay.
Yeah. Abontua supporters are great too. On behalf of everybody, I'd like to say thank you to Jerome for gracing our studios. He'll be joining us. We'll be talking about sports in general pretty shortly. And I would like to thank Afi Antonio, also my co-host for this morning. And to all of you, my name is PeeKay. Hopefully Monday will make it bigger and better. And don't forget, tomorrow afternoon we'll be having Anidaso right here. Fantastic people passing through. And there's a surprise element, 3 surprise elements in the show. Stay on there and enjoy your weekend.